Here we are, the last day of your month of extreme short story writing. I hope that you have found this illuminating, frustrating, exhilarating. I know there were days when you wrote things that you were kind of like, well, that was a slog. But there were other days where you wrote something that surprised yourself, or you wrote something that made you really happy. And more than that, you have 31 days of writing whether you felt like it or not. And maybe you didn't write every day, but I'm willing to bet there were days this month that you wrote when you didn't want to. And you finished a story even when you thought, this is not worth it. But the act of finishing showed you that you can do it. You've pushed yourself. I want you to take some time today to learn, to make some notes about what you've learned, about your rhythms of writing, about how things work for you. Because I can give you advice, and Stephen King can give you advice, and none of it really matters. It's good to put yourself in a community of people who are talking about these things that matter to you, and you can learn from other people's examples for sure. But the only way to discover how you write is to write. And I think at the end of this 31 days, you will probably agree with me that you've learned some stuff about your rhythm, your practice of writing. So today, I want you to write a story about a writer. I want you to write a story about a writer who has just completed or is in the throes of completing a massive work, a massive effort. It doesn't need to be a writer, actually. It can be any creative person. It could be like, Cloud Atlas with the composer writing his one wonderful symphony or sextet that will outlive him. A creative person who is in the throes of or has just completed a heroic effort. You can go anywhere with this. You can take us through the process that they're going through, the manic last moments of pushing through. You can have them have their post-event collapse afterwards. You can have them, just reflecting on what happened. Pay attention to the physical feelings of it. Go anywhere you want with this. Yes, it can be autobiographical. You can have a bit of fun with this. It doesn't need to be serious. Yes, it's self-indulgent, but I think you've earned it to write about. I'm usually turned off by stories about writers because I think that's kind of lazy. But there are times when it's justified, and I think this is one of them. I'm not going to sum up everything you've learned today. I did that 2 days ago. You can go back and check out that video. You've learned a lot. Hopefully this has been a great experience for you. I want you to write your story today, and I want you to celebrate. Just take a moment, blog or tweet or whatever you do to share celebratory information. Just take a moment to really revel in the fact that you have devoted these 31 days, regardless of how much you were able to turn up, regardless of how often you were able to write or how good your stories were, you devoted this month to paying attention to your writer, your inner writer. And you have these materials now. You can come back at any time and dive back into these prompts, into the meditations, the forum. You've met these people who've gone through this course with you, and you've made some connections, and I hope that you will stay in touch with each other. Having a cohort of people to help each other out is an amazing thing. And these people who know you and like you will be your biggest boosters. So stay in touch, take advantage of the fact that you have this group of people who've shared an experience with you. Most of all, write your story. Make your plans for the rest of the year. As you're writing your celebratory, I did it blog post or journal entry or whatever your reflection. I'm going to send you a survey, a kind of a worksheet for you to think about what you've learned this month. As you're doing that, think about what your plans are for the rest of the month, the rest of the year, the rest of the next 5 years. Think about how you can put into practice everything that you've learned in this month to honour your urge to write, your urge to create. If you need to be part of a group of people who commit to writing regularly, then you're going to need to find a group. It might be the Swagger group at StoryADay. Come along on the first of the month and tell us what your commitments are. That might be enough for you. Or maybe you need a real life group. Maybe you need a group that meets at a cafe on Saturday mornings and does a write-in. And you're just all sitting together writing. Find one. Go to Meetup. Find something like that. Start one. Whatever you need, figure it out. Set yourself some goals. Make them attainable. Maybe make like 1 or 2 really attainable goals and 1 outrageous goal. And think about some steps you can take to get or to start working towards that goal. Thank you for coming along on this journey. It is wonderful for me to be part of this with you. I learn when we get together and do hangouts and talk in the forums. I learn a lot. I learn a lot just from thinking through these prompts and lessons for you, so I really appreciate you being here. I love getting to know you and building this tribe of people who are on each other's side as we strive to be writers every day, not someday. So write your story, keep watching your inbox for more from me, and thank you, and keep writing.